Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Red and Blue Review. Before we start, can we ask you to hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube? 87% of you watching won't be subscribers. You can also follow us on Instagram at red_and_blue_review, or follow us on Twitter at red_blue_review. Thank you. Now, on with the show.
It's showtime, so put your feet up for an hour and tune into the Red and Blue Review. Nick, Ian, Jel and the crew are waiting to hear from you, so get those comments in.
Get it off the screen. It's probably taken him weeks. For those of you listening this evening, Nigel put up a picture of me with a stupid Australian hat on. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and warm welcome to the Red and Blue Review. I am back, and apparently this is the first Red and Blue Review I've actually been involved in since 2 days after the Cup final. And they've done about 5 or 6 shows since then, I think. But I'm back and I am here. And I've got to tell you, before I introduce my illustrious panel this evening, before we went live, we were taking the mickey out of our new voiceover bloke, okay? And as he, even as he played that out just now, I don't know if you guys noticed it, he does a big sigh in the middle of it. As though he's bored to tears reading out whatever he's recording. It's funny, Nigel. We love you, mate. Well done for everything you do for the panel. Good evening. Welcome back. Thank you for everybody that sat in for me over the last few weeks. Ian Noble, I know you're not with us tonight. I know you're sitting in the cinema, snogging in the back row or whatever you do in the cinema these days. And can you just picture the scene? Ian Noble got his arm around his missus. No, I can't do it. Because I know he's going to listen back to it. You lot stop giggling and let me introduce you one at a time. My wingman, old Slaphead, Benny from Crossroads, Jel Holyoke. Lovely to see you, mate. How are you, bud? Been a long time.
Have you been away? Evening, everyone.
How long have you been sat there? It's not 24 hours, is it, you plonker?
No. It was, all a little bit of a misunderstanding. I was sitting here ready to go last night and hadn't got a link sent to me so we can all connect from the different parts of wherever we are. And, they said it's tomorrow. So, yeah, a bit of an error.
I'm looking at all the messages coming through on the chat. Good evening to each and every one of you. Thank you for your messages. Paul Gear, I see you got all 3 of them behind you, mate.
Yeah, it's ready to go. The new shirt collection is up to date. That always means it's season off and running.
Did you have to go to southern France to pick up the middle one?
It is a bit Leon-esque, isn't it? I mean, obviously, we have nothing to do with Leon, so we obviously don't share any info on kits or anything like that. So
No.
Pure coincidence.
Was that hand delivered by John Sexton to you?
He wouldn't want to come and see me at the moment.
No, I bet. And finally, I've got to ask, what's in all the plastic tubs? Yasmin Broom, good evening, my darling. I'd love to know what's in those plastic. Just grab one at random and tell us what's inside it.
Evening, Nick. I can tell you without even looking. It's various cables that Pete thinks he'll need one day.
The one day. I'll need that one day. The bit of wood that will sit in the garage for 10 years and then you'll go, I told you I had a bit of wood.
It's the Michael McIntyre sketch, the man-draw. Have any of you ever seen the Michael McIntyre man-draw sketch where he's got a peseta from Spain from 1936 or something in the man-draw? That's what he doesn't need plastic tubs. Get him a man-draw, bless his heart. What's his name?
Pete. No, he's too organised for a drawer. It has to all be in boxes.
He hasn't got them labelled though, is he? I've got a labeller here.
He does have a labeller.
Listen, let's get on with the show. Thank you for joining us, each and every one of you, wherever you are listening in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because I know we have Australian listeners. Because did I mention I'm in Australia? We have people from all over the planet that listen to the show, either back on the podcast, because it is obviously early hours of the morning over there, and people in the States. I know people in Canada listen to the show. So wherever you are tuning in, if you are listening to us on a podcast, thank you for listening. Okay, if you're watching us live, brilliant, do so. And please make sure you subscribe to our Instagram channel, because I know Tom Clark Samuel is one of the viewers tonight, and they'll get very upset if I don't remember to mention the Instagram channel. Not a clue what it is, okay? And I don't care. Right, so a lot has happened since I've sat in this chair talking to you lot, okay? A massive amount has happened. Sadly, we have got some other information that we're not going to be sharing on the show tonight. That's stuff that has been going on in the background. There is going to be news, a little bit of good news from the club tomorrow. I think there's going to be a new appointment, not a player. Don't get excited, not a player, but there will be a new appointment announced by the club tomorrow, I believe. And obviously, we then went on, since I was last here, went on to win the Charity Shield, and we signed, I think it was 14 players. No, we didn't. No, we didn't sign any players at all. We signed 2 players for under £3 million. What do we think is going to happen this week? Do we think we're going to be, Paul, I'm going to start with you. Do you think we're going to bring in 4 or 5 this week?
They need to, and if they've got half a brain, they will. But this is Palace. We have this debate every year. I don't know why they wait so long. They like doing it at the end of the season. I mean, to be fair, a lot of clubs do. I've seen Marco Silva's been moaning about Fulham. Nuno moaned last week about Forest. I know Villa people have been not too happy. So there's a lot of windows that go to the end. And Sky wouldn't have their show on the last day of the season or last day of the transfer window if lots of clubs didn't do it. So we're not alone. But I think the sad reality of this window is that Glasner wanted it done early. And if any manager has ever done anything at the club to deserve being what he wants, getting players in early because he asked for it, even if he's been promised it, then this was the window. But it's not happened, sadly. So they need 3 or 4 by next Tuesday. Yeah.
I'm listening to you, Paul, and looking at all the hellos in the chat. Jill, I'm going to hand over to you to have a look at those. Lindsay's telling me that I look fresh in the chat. Lindsay, you know this face is always gorgeous. I don't know why you're even questioning it. Paul, Jill, you were about to say something. Go for it, mate.
I was, yeah. Nuno's got some neck, hasn't he? A bit like he's the owner. They bought 5 players in, spent £100 million. The twat. Anyway, talking about the chat, Tommy Samuel, Don Palace, Daniel Garlick, David, Phillips von David, Mark Callahan, Joan Wells, Charlie Byrne, John Knox, Paul Bristow, Lee Clark, Lee Lockwood, James Convey, Tony Raybold. So I'm scrolling as I'm trying to. Lindsay Dawn. It's not that Lindsay Dawn. And Keith Madge Diamonds, Leon Sounds, and it had to be people of a certain age to know that little thing that I just said there. Ian James Appley, and Teresa, our own Teresa Baker out there, Aaron Azza, and Lee Lockwood. To name but a few out there already. Thanks, guys, for joining us. And we will be trying to use your comments a little bit more for this show this season as we go on. And Richard Young, just really, really quickly, he's just come up. Well, I've got a feeling we might be talking about what you just said then, and I'm sure we'll be able to put that on the screen.
What was that? I didn't see
well, he said, can we get Conor Gallagher back? And that's what I read today. I have a feeling that all the money that we got for Ebbs, which is, does anyone know? Was there any point in his release clause run out or whatever to get another 48 quid or whatever if we've only got 67.5 million, if we've got a little bit more than whatever. But I'm hoping it was a whole lot more than that, to be honest with you.
And don't forget, it's 15% goes to QPR. And by the way, I did tweet out earlier in the week. I don't even know which continent I was in when I put the tweet out, that I am absolutely delighted for QPR. I don't begrudge them a single penny of that money. I hope they enjoy that money as much as we enjoyed at Ebbs. Would you agree, Jazz?
Absolutely. One of the things that's made me a little bit sick is the way that Arsenal are trying to claim all responsibility for Ebbs, ever since he was born kind of thing. And they were the ones who let him go. So it was QPR that saved his career, and then he came to us, and everyone who knows anything about football knows that. So
yeah, good, well said, and you make a bloody good point. And I don't begrudge them a single penny of that, and I hope they spend it wisely. It's brilliant. Now, somebody else, Nigel, I missed a comment on this new screen of ours, because obviously this is the first time I've seen this new layout. Somebody made a comment of, we don't sign some players, we're going to end up in 18th position, I think it was, a couple of minutes ago. And I missed who it was, so forgive me who wrote it. And we will be talking about that a lot in the second half of the show. I don't want to go through it at the moment because I hope all of you that are watching or listening have given Nigel your season's predictions for where you will finish up. Okay, Nigel, I don't know if you've even compiled the list ready for broadcast yet, but it's something that we do every season. And I have put in my own predictions on the strength that we don't bring any players in, or we only bring one or two loans in, which is what I'm concerned about. Yas, what did you predict for the season?
For this,
There is on screen, by the way. Lee Lockwood is. Thank you, Lee. We don't sign any players in this window. We will be bottom 3 by the next one. Fact is what he said. Thank you, mate.
Well, I predicted before I knew Ebbs was going. I said 6, and we'd win the League Cup and the conference.
I think they open at about 8 o'clock in the morning, love, if you need to make your doctor's appointment. Paul, what was your prediction?
I said we finished 10th.
Okay, and Jel?
I think I said 8th in the FA Cup, and I'm not. I'm going 14th and nothing now.
You can't
I'm serious because we're going to lose Gay as well. Can we actually talk about Gay as well? We need to slot this in today, please.
we're doing it in the second half of the show. Anyway, we're going to move on to a couple of games, and I know Yas has got a very brief synopsis of what happened under the lights at Selhurst Park. I didn't get there. I watched it from abroad. From where I was sitting, it wasn't the most entertaining of games. The guys pre-show sort of corrected me on that. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. Yas, tell me your thoughts on the game and any notes you've got about it, please.
Yeah. So the lineup was there were 3 changes. One was Tyreek Mitchell. Sosa came in for him, or Sosa, and Lerma came in for Richards. And then obviously we had an enforced change with Ebbs not feeling well or whatever. So Devaney came in instead. I thought that their fans were pretty good. There wasn't that many of them, but the ones that were there were just dancing and singing all night, which was really good to watch. They all seemed pretty friendly and stuff. I saw some of their videos afterwards as well about their experiences at the game, which is quite funny. So yeah, as you say, Nick, it wasn't the most exciting game. I mean, I wasn't feeling well anyway, so it would have had to have been pretty exciting for me that night. I dragged myself there because there was no way I was going to miss our first European game. So, and we had quite a number of shots. So it was 25 shots altogether that we had. Only 5 were on target, but we were trying to give it a go. Everyone tried it. It was Lerma, Wharton, JP, Saab, Mark, Hughes. But what was difficult, I think, about the game was most of the Fred players were all behind the ball. They hardly ever came out. If we didn't come out, they didn't come out their half. It was very hard to get through. I think Wharton described it as compact or something.
We certainly did struggle to break them down from what I could see.
Yeah.
You use the W word. If you don't mind, I'm going to interrupt you right now and ask you about Adam Wharton. I'm going to give you an opinion, okay? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, batter me at your leisure, okay? Batter me at your leisure. Yes, I'm aware he played the ball out to Munoz at the weekend. Great ball into Munoz for Sal to score. I'm aware of all that, okay? But is he actually playing that well at the moment? Your views, please, panel. Starting with you, Yas.
No, not really. And yesterday, not at all. I didn't think. I don't think many of them yesterday were very accurate on passing. And when he loses it, he then goes in quite hard, almost like because he's angry with himself for losing it. I don't know. But then that's the danger of him getting booked or sent off. Just the way he reacts when he loses it. I think he seems quite tired at the moment. And I think Glasner mentioned that and said a lot of them were tired, which is a bit worrying because we've only just started and we've got loads more games to come. So, yeah, he is a good player, and the passes and his reading of the game is really good. But at the moment, he looks a bit off.
Okay, Paul, your thoughts on him?
I think he's doing all right at the moment, to be honest. I think in terms of the defensive side of his game, he's breaking the play up well. He's winning the ball back. He's keeping the ball. But I think what we've got to remember is it's quite hard for any of our players who want to play forward passes at the moment because Mateta's up front on his own, and basically Sarr is the only attacking outlet at the moment. So whereas last year he'd look forward and he'd see probably 2 or 3 options, they're not quite so many options to go for, so he has to go a bit sideways and backwards. So again, as we'll come on to later, we need some reinforcements. We need some more attacking stuff up front for him to pass the ball to. If he hasn't got those, he's going to play it sideways. But yeah, I mean, in terms of fitness, they've played 3 tough games in 7 days. Again, we'll come on to it. There's no squad depth. There's no real people to bring on and rotate players and keep them fresh. So they're all just grinding down, to be honest, at the moment. So, but yeah, I don't think he's doing too bad at the moment.
Good. Okay. Couple of quickies in there. I see Simon Cribbins on from Canada. Good evening, Simon. I hope you're well. I noticed Azza's out there as well. Azza, have we ever met, mate? Jel, your thoughts on Adam, please?
Yeah, well, it's just games in quick succession now. He's doing all right. He's doing what he does. I don't know what people are expecting of him. He's going to sort of play out to be with him and Hughes. They both break up play. I mean, what we haven't got is a creator now. He's not a creator. What he does, he was someone that used to give the ball to Ebbs, and Ebbs created. So we are a massive link. And what happened yesterday? Took him off, and then we get Romain Esse come on, and it's down to him. I mean, I thought I sneezed while I was watching the game, and he fell over. I thought it was my fault. I mean, he is a bit lightweight. He needs another year or so and be brought in gently. But I mean, yeah, we can't be caning players 3 games into the season.
I'm not caning.
No. I'm just saying. I know you're not caning him, but we can't be. Adam does what he does, and he's one of the best at it. I mean, who else do we get in? We don't have anyone else. The Corey is. I don't even know where the Corey is. Is he going to miss this season, or is he training? I literally don't know.
Still injured at the moment. He's not ready.
We've got the Brazilian kid who's just made a glass. I think we're trying to bin him now. I think we're just cutting our losses.
Let's do that live, Joel. Let's do that live because we have just binned him. He's going to, was it Vati on loan? And it's been agreed in the last half an hour. Just to show you everybody that we are live, it's 17 minutes gone at St James's Park, and it's currently Newcastle 0, Liverpool 0. No, I'm not caning him, honestly. I'm really not caning him. I just thought he looks a little bit undercooked, whether it's fitness. I mean, I noticed Thomas Tuchel was in the stands yesterday, not just looking at him, obviously looking at Mark, looking at Dean, and the numerous Forest players as well. But if he was trying to get himself standing up for the World Cup that's coming up, I don't think yesterday was, or the game against Fredrikstad was did him any favours, if I'm brutally honest with you. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a poor player. I think he's an outstanding player.
Well, talking about that game against Fredrikstad.
Hey?
I said, talking about that game.
We're going back to it right now. We're going back to it right now.
And actually, something you just said reminded me of something else that I should have said beforehand. Our bench was not great for that game. We literally didn't really have much to bring on off that bench. And so we'll get to that in a minute. But there was Fred had, I'm calling them Fred because it's easier. But they did have a shot that was pretty close. But when you looked at it, it looked like at least 2 or 3 of the players were offside when in the build up to that. So even if it had gone in, I don't know if it would have stood. And then it was 54 minutes, which, to be honest, I think most of us, if we're honest, would have thought we'd be 4-0 up by 54 minutes. But that was the time of our goal. It was a throw-in from Sosa. It comes to Hughes, and he hits it in. It comes off one of their defenders and comes back again. And then Hughes smashes it, and it sort of deflects off of JP's head. and it must have been going pretty fast the way it goes in. So yeah, that was our first European goal.
So, can I ask you a question? Does anybody know how many goals has JP scored from his head? I mean, his head looks like Jill Holyoake's head, and we don't see that much action from JP's head. You know, he's brilliant in and around the box. But Paul, you got any ideas? Can you remember any goals he scored from his head?
Yeah, I remember him scoring a goal at Brighton, consolation goal at Brighton a few years ago. But yeah, there's probably not as many as you'd think from someone who's supposed to be the tall lead in the line striker.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you, Yes, for that. So we go into the replay on this Thursday. I believe it's a 5:30 showing on UK time. Is that right, guys?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock kickoff.
Nick, sorry, I was going to say one more thing. We only made one sub, and that was Edward. And I think that's quite telling, really, because I think last he didn't really want Edward any longer, and that's all we had to bring on. So I just wanted to.
And you make a valid point. I mean, this is how desperate things are. Joe, I know you're waving your mouth a minute. This is a guy that Glasner has quite clearly said you need to find yourself another club. Okay, and we're having to use him as a sub. Again, from what I saw, he came on yesterday as well, didn't he? He didn't do very much wrong, but why? Why are we letting our squad get to this position? Joe, did you want to make a point?
About Edward, yeah, I don't mind him. I mean, he never let us down. All of a sudden, he just fell out of favour. Obviously, something has happened, but from what I've seen, you know, and from what I hear from one or two people that have been watching training, he's doing all right. I think that's why he's back in the squad. He must be. Otherwise they should. If they're not going to back him, right, then they've got to bring someone in from the 21s to bolster up front. I was shocked to see that we had 3 goalkeepers available for yesterday. I mean, that's pathetic. Bring a kid in. Just bring a kid. Doesn't matter. But 16-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old on the bench. They're affiliated with a club. Just don't try and mug the ball off. You know, you can fill the bench. We've got another 3 teams underneath here that we can use. Even if you're just going to if you're not going to bring them on. We did that with Defendi, didn't we? He's never going to play, but we just brought him in. You know, when he first came, it's just a little bit like, I don't know. He's the most senior striker, sort of outside of the squad that we have to come in. So you know, it is what it is.
We're still paying. We're still paying him. So
exactly. And before Yes is going to wrap up the Fred game, but I do want to say something before we go on to the Forest game about Ebbs. I'd like to say.
Hold that for a minute, okay? I just big breaking news. The movie's obviously finished because I noticed that Ian Noble is sitting there watching us. Okay, so his advances on the back road clearly didn't pay off because he's watching the show. Yes, continue, please.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there was a late chance for Fred near the end, which was a bit worrying. I think they were really happy with the 1-0. Much happier than we were with that result. I think they thought that was brilliant for them. So yeah, and the player of the match was Will Hughes, according to the fans.
Yeah, that's a good. Again, I'm going to write that down to come on back on Will Hughes in a minute. And there's your stats for you. It's pretty much as you would expect. The telling thing there is the goals, of course. It was only 1-0. Is it enough to take forward Paul Gear? Is that enough to take us forward on Thursday night?
It's going to be a tough one on Thursday. We're playing on a plastic pitch, which they'll obviously be more used to than we will. But I would back us to keep a clean sheet against anyone. So although we can't attack very well at the moment, and we'll come on to reasons why for that, it wouldn't surprise me if we get a 0-0 out there. But ultimately, we've made it a bit more difficult than we probably should have.
And for each and every one of you, 1,700 and probably more, because I know they've opened a particular fan zone for us out in Fredrikstad, whatever it's called. Have a safe journey. I know it's not an easy journey. It's fraught with different train options and God knows what else. Most of you flying into Oslo, I'm aware, including my son Sam. He's going out there and he's lucky enough to have a ticket for the game. So be safe out there. Apparently, from what I can gather, they're a fantastic bunch of people. They're going to be more than welcoming. I say they've dedicated an entire fan zone just to the Palace fans without tickets, with a big screen to watch the game. So be safe, enjoy the trip, okay, experience, and just suck it in. It's our first ever away game in Europe. Enjoy it and bring back the qualification. Okay, we're going to move on because I'm conscious of the time. It's already 8:25. Okay, and Paul, I'd like you to cover yesterday's game. When you do the lineup, please, I would like you to stop when you got to the end of the main lineup. Nigel, could we have the lineup part, please?
Yeah, no, it's basically back to our main team. Obviously, as we said, Richards got rested in the week, so did Tyrick, but they both came back in. So it's pretty much our strongest team now. Obviously, no Ebbs, so that's the whole at the moment. Just Devaney is covering, and obviously Hughes is in for Kamada, and what we thought was our sort of cup final and best team. But yes, again, not the strongest bench in the world. He said the other day, Raksaki and Edouard basically are two players they've told they need to leave the club. But obviously, as we said just now, if they're on the payroll, we've got to use them. So, yeah.
Which brings me to my question then, Paul. Leave that up, please, Nige. Leave that up on the screen because I want to talk about the subs. Where is Raksaki? Why are we showing two goalkeepers there? And who is the geezer, the last guy on that list? And it's so small, I can't even read his name. Can anybody tell me what his name is?
Hardines.
Who is this young Cardines player that I'm not even familiar with? Can anybody like?
Yeah, we've discussed him on the show because he's been on the bench every game this season, I think. He's a right back, young right back who's actually played for Trinidad and Tobago full team so far and for a couple of the youngster teams. So he's he seems to be just soaking up some experience at the moment, I think.
So why are we playing two goalkeepers on the bench? And where is Raksaki? Anybody any idea?
But he was on the bench the other day, Raksaki, so maybe it was maybe he's in talks for a move, who knows? But yeah, he was obviously not there the other day. And two keepers is sort of standard when you're trying to either make a point to the ball, a lot of clubs do it, or just filling them out.
Jel.
I just want to answer Lee Lockwood. He said, because obviously what I've said about Edouard, he says, he tells you all you need to know when concurrent gaffers are doing the same thing, Jel, regarding Odds and Edouard. Well, I mean, if you seem to remember, didn't Patrick, when he was our, all singing, all dancing, when he had his own song manager at the time, didn't fancy Eze, did he? We're all going, he's one of our best players, and he never played him. So I think it's just a matter of opinion. You know what it's like when managers come in, they see players, don't fancy them, and that's it. So, it is what it is with him. And if we can get him off the payroll with his, whatever his wages are, his 40 odd grand a week, that'd be good. We'd be able to pay some bills in, which would be nice. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people agreeing with me about what I've said. But it is strange. Football is fickle. Us fans, we're fickle. Managers are fickle. There's strange comings and goings from every club, and we don't get the real answers. People getting asked to leave, people getting fired. You never get an answer, and it just seems to happen, quite a lot. And as Ian Nobles just said, keep up, Nick. Cardines is the future. So, but yeah, I going on about him just very quickly. Have we got him in, or has he come through the academy?
We signed him from Stevenage as a youngster. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. And then Georgia Wagwu said just down the bottom, talking about players coming in and going out. Glasner wants Christos Solis from Club Bruges, and Steve Parrish wants, I'm going to say, this is my name, but I'm going to pronounce it properly, Jeremy Pino from Villarreal. What do you think of that, Nick and panel?
Oh, Nick's on mute.
I don't actually keep a close eye on. I know the guy on HLTCO runs a spreadsheet on all younger players across Europe, and I'm not that close to it, so I wouldn't want to comment on it. I know it's Paul's out there, PR66. Evening, Paul. I hope you're well, mate. Lots of comments. Nigel, there was a large comment that you put up there about Dean Henderson's appearance numbers. He hit 50 50 appearances. If you can put that back on screen, I think it's worth a comment. 50th consecutive Premier League start for the club against Forest. Only Nigel Martin, 76, and Joel Ward, 66, have started consecutively through Martin's run of games and had a whole season's break in the middle between them, relegation and promotion back to the Premier League. Paul, I'm going to let you continue in a second, but hopefully you're going to kick off with the TIFO. Now, I don't know if anybody you were watching who wasn't present at the game yesterday, did any of you hear the clown commentators when they raised the TIFO saying, go on then, Jel, take it on.
Oh, no, I put it in the chat because I thought, like literally, I know my eyes are going bad, but to me, that looks like Joe Walls. But Glenn Murray and the other fella, can't remember who it was. Glenn Murray, dreadful yesterday, by the way, on comms. They mistook him for Gay. They said, look, the TIFO of Mark Gay lifting the FA Cup. And I was like, oh my God. When you dig yourself a hole and you can't get out of it, because if you say anything else, you're going to look stupid. I just think they didn't say anything, so they all thought they were just,
I heard exactly. Joe, you're not alone, mate, because I heard it as well.
I did laugh.
What a bunch of clowns. By the way, before I hand back to Paul, I will publicly congratulate the HF on the quality of that TIFO, etched in silver. And then what do? They put silver down the side.
And everyone else who paid for it.
And everybody that contributed to it, of course. But somebody had to make it, somebody had to set it up. And the guys risking themselves by being on the roof, hoisting it up. Well done, guys. You did the club proud yesterday, again, as you did at Wembley, Paul Gear.
Yeah, so let's rattle through the game, shall we? It's so we both teams started with some attacks. So we had the first real attack when Mitchell did well to stop Chris Wood going clean through, and he put the ball down the side to Saar, who played in Devaney, and he flashed the ball across, and hopefully it was cleared, but that was hopefully a good intense start that we're going to try and be on the front foot. Next real attack was at the other end because it was a bit end to end. Morgan Gibbs White went down the right hand side and he crossed it in, and Chris Wood, he got a shot in, but he dragged it just wide. So it was a reasonable start for it. Then we had a collector's piece, which I quite enjoyed, to be honest. I think most of the crowd quite enjoyed, but the Forest guy put a shot, and I don't think I've ever seen a shot land on the roof of the White Horse Lane executive boxes, but it was pretty impressive, I must admit. I'm not sure how you could hit the ball that high and that wide, but he deserved points for that. It was quite a funny moment, that one, I must admit. We then had the next shot, Mateta from long range. It's better. It was actually on target. Keeper made a fairly routine save. So, and we were starting slowly sort of getting. Forest had sort of had more of the ball at the start, but we were slowly getting to grips with them and sort of getting on top of it now, which was good. They did have another shot over from Morgan Gibbs White. Probably should have done better, but he put one over from the edge of the box, and then we scored. Will Hughes wins the ball back on the edge of the box from Morgan Gibbs White, who's messing about a bit. Gets it to Walton, who plays it out wide to Munoz. First time cross into the box, and Saar, luckily 8 yards out, no one around him, manages somehow, just slightly behind him, to redirect the ball into the bottom corner. So, that was a nice goal. Obviously, we've got stats there. Nice goal. And, I think everyone, obviously, there was a bit more spice to the game than there normally is against Nottingham Forest yesterday. So we all enjoyed that goal quite a lot, to be honest. And it was probably coming at that point. We were playing well. I don't think it was unfair that we took the lead there. Half sort of fizzled out to a bit. Then to the last minute of the half, we got a free kick when Saar was fouled on the edge of the box. Walton swung it over, and then Mark Gay had run. It's obviously a well-worked routine. We see Mark Gay run round the back, and he gets the diving header at the back post. Hits the post. I think Sells did get a little touch to it, but would have been great to get a second goal then. But so half time we're going 1-0 up. Probably, as I say, on the run of play, I think that was probably fair. But we came out second half, and Forest obviously we wanted to address the situation. And then probably best to mention Anthony Taylor at this point. It was quite funny. I mean, Anthony Taylor had an Anthony Taylor game, which is never usually a good thing. But I found it quite funny that he booked their goalkeeper in the 53rd minute. Now, Forest are losing. I'm not sure they're going to be wasting time at the best of time anyway. And I know they're trying to keep the ball in play a lot more at the moment, but I think the problem then, if he booked him, he then booked Mitchell a few seconds later for taking time on a free kick and a throw on. And I think they've just got to be a bit careful about this. I know they're counting down the 8 seconds for the goalie, and that's good, but you don't want to overdo it. Liverpool just scored, by the way. So yes, and then unfortunately, straight for us, pretty much straight after that, the equaliser. So Ndoye got the ball on the edge of it in sort of halfway line. He turned, and to me, I don't think he meant this pass. I mean, it turned out to be an excellent pass, but I think he was trying to play it to Wood, and I think that's probably what caught our defence out. It went through the middle of Gay and Mitchell. Obviously, Hudson-Odoi went clean through, and Dean couldn't stop him. Obviously, Tyler, I think, tried as much as he could to put him off, but he'd just been booked. He couldn't do too much, and obviously, if he did foul in there, he's going off anyway. So, probably what Forest deserves at that point. As I say, they were creeping back into the team, and it was.
Can I ask you a question at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. It's actually the next frame on from that where Dean's got his left leg out and the ball goes. It was a rocket of a shot. I grant that it's a rocket of a shot. But could Dean have done better with that shot? Oh.
No, not from that range. No, he's hit it hard, low and hard. I mean, sometimes it hits the foot, goes over or goes wide, but from that, you're going to do very well to stop it from that range, I think.
Yes, you agree with Paul?
Yeah, I think it was just inevitable. Once we kind of lost him. As I said, TM couldn't do anything because of being booked, and I don't think we can expect Dino to save that.
Okay, and Joe, you agree with them?
I thought that at first, and then having seen the replay from behind, I mean, look, he absolutely nailed that ball. And I thought he just did all right just to get a boot on it. Like Paul said, it could have gone anywhere. It could have hit the bar. Could have hit, it was a good goal. And to be honest with you, it's nothing that they didn't deserve. They just kept coming and coming and coming. And...
No, I think it's the right result. I agree.
And as Joan Wells has said, Anthony Taylor was rubbish as usual. He really, I mean, firstly, the Forest fans are caning him, and then the Palace fans caned him, and then the Forest fans caned him, and then I think everyone should have just, you don't know what you're doing, should have been the cry from all of the crowd, because Sky did their absolute best to turn the mics down when the Huava song was going on.
We're going to come back to that in a second, Joe.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, it was. I just thought it was the right. Yeah, the right. 1-1 is not anything that I didn't expect.
Okay, Paul, carry on, mate.
Yeah, so the rest of the second half really just played out. There weren't too many chances, not too many saves. We obviously made 3 substitutions. Obviously, SA came on in the 66th minute for Devaney. Now, I think I quite like Justin Devaney. I think a lot of us on this panel do. I'm not sure he's Ebbs' replacement or that's his position, and obviously he's a lot being asked of him. But it was quite interesting to see him give SA a chance. He was asked about SA the other week, Glasner, and he basically said he's not ready yet to replace Ebbs, which he probably isn't. But he hasn't had many minutes. I know he had the issue at Liverpool where he got bought on and then taken off because he made a bit of a balls up. But yeah, so he finally got his chance this season and he did all right. He seemed he did some skills and stuff like that. But I think he's going to be one of those players that we need to play him to get him the confidence to sort of make a mark. And it might be interesting to see whether he plays this week. Obviously, Walton went off near the end for Lerma, and obviously Mateta went off right at the end for Edouard. Obviously, we haven't got a bench, but we're going to risk injury if we don't rest some of these players or take them off every so often. I mean, 3 games in 7 days, and this is the problem we're going to have. So
I'm going to stop you right there, Paul, because you make a great point. Paul's words just now were, we're going to risk injuries. For those of you who watched it on the TV, Joe, I know you watched it on the TV. Did any of you, about, I think it was about on 80 minutes, see Daniel Munoz pull up?
Huh?
I saw it very clearly on the TV, and he carried on. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out later this week that he's tweaked something. And you make a good point, Jill.
And also, I'm amazed that the head injury protocol didn't force Hughes to go off, because I'm telling you now, I don't care what anybody says. He definitely staggered. If he didn't do it twice, thrice, maybe 4 times, and he literally had to stand still, be held up, and close his eyes to regain some composure. I mean, I think if that was rugby, I think they would have took him off.
Yeah,
he got clattered. And how on earth that weren't a foul? And did anyone see the foul on Mateta in the first half? 5, like a stamp. It was a minimum stamp, a minimum yellow, and they could have massively injured him, and it would have been a free kick on the edge of the area. So I'm just a little bit. I can't understand how VAR, it's just evolving, and it can't just go, look, you've missed that, mate. Go back to it. You missed it. It's a free kick.
They should do.
If they scored, if they'd gone on and scored, Forest, it would have been disallowed because it was a free kick. Because if they'd have gone up there 20 seconds later, it would have been part of the same play, and they would have disallowed their goal. So I just don't understand. And Phillips on Davis said if it was rugby, Hughes would have been taken off. I'm saying it.
Okay, so I understand, Yaz and Paul, that you didn't see Daniel pull up. Okay, I don't suppose anybody did in the ground, but I clearly saw it, and he continued in the remainder of the game. He wasn't his usual fluid self. Carry on, mate, with the game.
Yeah, as I say, it wouldn't surprise me if a few of them are cramping up and stuff. I mean, it is only the third, fourth game into the season, so they're not at peak fitness. But overplaying them and not being able to rotate a bit, it's not going to be great. And obviously, the game sort of petered out. Forest were the team on top, and then they very nearly stole it in the 3rd minute of stoppage time when Murillo played. He got Jesus through. He ran through, and then he hit a shot, and it came back off the post, thankfully, and went out because it would have been harsh. I know they were the pressing team at that point, but I think we probably did deserve a point. And there was still time to go at the other end, and Sarr was fouled in the box, but unfortunately he was just slightly offside, so it didn't happen. But yeah, I think draw 1-1. You can't really. I think we were the better team in the first half. They were the better team in the second half, and it just showed. I think that, as I say, we played Thursday. Obviously, they hadn't. We couldn't rotate. We can't swap things about. So we're pushing players, and they're going to get tired, and that's when we're going to let in goals as we did and stuff like that. And it just shows the bench. I mean, as I said earlier, Nuno at the start of last week moaned, and then about the lack of transfers, and then they go and bought 4 players for 100 million. They bought 3 of those on the other day, and it makes a difference to a team. It can change the impetus of a game. But yeah.
Any coincidence? One of those players that came from John Textor's Botafogo, who's fallen in love with Adam Maranakis. I don't know. Am I really that?
No, there does seem to be a lot of dealings between those two at the moment, which is a bit strange, shall we say? But yeah, I mean, they spent 35 million on an Ipswich winger. They bought obviously McAtee, who would have been good at Palace, to be honest, for 25 million off City. They've also bought Douglas Luiz, who was a very good footballer for Villa a few years ago. He went to Juventus, didn't settle on his back now. So they've really strengthened their team now, and it will tell. And like I say, this is the defining moment of our season now. I think as I say, if we get 3 or 4 players in and give Glasner some options and some ability to rotate for games, because if we're going to be playing Thursday, Sunday a lot, hopefully, he's going to have that, because as I say, if we thrash our players to bits, then they'll just get tired, and that will affect results, and then obviously we know what will happen. But
thank you, Nigel. You got the stats from yesterday's game? You wait, and I think that possession stats at the top basically sums it up. Fairly even, really. Shots very even. Free kick, even the free kicks are even. Very good. Thank you, Nigel. One thing Paul didn't cover during that little synopsis there was the second banner that has created an awful lot of traffic on social media, and I understand that potentially this could be going to the FA to investigate. Well done, the HF again. Okay, and for those of you who haven't seen it, I'll read it to you. Mr. Maranakis is not involved in blackmail, match fixing, drug trafficking, or corruption, as he holds a gun to Morgan Gibbs White's head, and there's shitbag Texter in the background, and a pocket full of cash, and a bag full of cash. Well done. Okay, and that's created an awful lot of traction all over the world, I'm telling you. People saying, even the Forest fans were online today, saying that they thought it was highly humorous. Now, and then I saw another, I've just seen that this evening that came through. I didn't check my emails. Ladies and gentlemen, have you seen my new shirt? Have you seen my new shirt? If you haven't, watch out for it at Selhurst against Sunderland, because I will be wearing check emails shirt on when I make an appearance at Selhurst Park week after next. So, and that was the parish one as well. So, but next question to you all: is there likely to be any ramifications from that second?
Sorry. this is going to sound really stupid. I've been massively whooshed. The second one, that's just someone's mocked that up, isn't it?
No. You missed it, Joe. You missed it.
Thanks, Paul. Jesus Christ, I was going to say if I missed that, because that for me would have been the most. You know how I feel about this, and I think you do as well, Paul.
Yep.
Do you know what? I wish that was legit. Absolutely. I can't believe we're not going after him.
We are. Hold on. We are in a minute. Okay. So, any ramifications of the Marinakis banner, guys?
Probably. I mean, it's funny, and they've covered themselves on a legal basis by putting the word "not" in. But it's probably not ideal to have people pointing guns at footballers' heads on signs.
So, what is the possible outcome, Yaz or Paul? Either of you know what the possible ramifications could be on that?
A fine, which is really ideal at the moment.
Yeah, I thought fine. I mean, I did find it actually very, very amusing. I didn't take it. People were taking it literally, the gun thing, rather than what it was meant as. But you know,
the HF they have formed for this. Remember the big pigs in the trough, the massive banner they mugged off everyone with the pig, with the snouts in the trough. That it is what it is. Listen, there's so many people that will just always be offended. But don't give a shit about them. We're allowed to say what we want. At the moment, we're allowed to say what we want. I mean, I'm amazed that Kia's old Bill didn't go in here and start beating people with truncheons and stuff. But I just, it's diabolical. Oh,
Anthony Gordon's about to be sent off by VAR.
I'm watching it.
I don't think he's got much of a case there. I think he's had it.
Yeah,
but no, like you say, it's funny and it's not untrue, but it's just it's not. There's places, time and a place for that sort of thing, and I don't think it's just, as I say, it was funny and we all laughed, but
okay. Now we're into the last. I've just got to see the decision here. We're into the last 10 minutes here, or 10, 12 minutes, and I want to talk about responsibility. Okay, the responsibility is whose? Why have we not signed any players? Okay, what are we expecting from the back end of the transfer window? Okay, and will we lose Oliver Glasner if we don't bring in said players by next Monday? I believe it is Monday night at 7:00. And by the way, Sky haven't got the monopoly on a transfer window deadline because we are also live on air. Here you go. An hour after the deadline closes next Monday night, 1st of September at 8:00. So Sky don't have the monopoly. We hope it's going to be a busy night, and we're going to have a lot to talk about, but I'm not convinced. Did he get sent off, Paul?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Are you going down to the training ground, Nick?
Am I going to the training ground? No, I'm going to be in the hot seat. Because we need to give...
It's just Dick Phil.
We are concerned about our squad tiring, okay, and being overstretched, okay, as I am with Ian Noble. Ian Noble's been in the hot seat for so many games now. I've got to give him a rest. Otherwise, I can't afford the masseurs bills to look and help him with his recovery. Okay?
We bailed him out. Don't worry. Last time we bailed him out. We had everything to talk about because he didn't write anything down.
Oh, really? I expect you in front of personnel first thing tomorrow morning, Noble, for the lack of commitment to the cause. Anyway, so right, Steve Parish, let's get into it. Okay, Jel, off you go. Fill your boots.
Look, what I struggle with now, and the situation for me has got worse, is that when Sexter came in, I believe there was 90. We used that money to buy players. Now, Mr. Johnson of the Johnson & Johnson earbuds people, I don't know if anyone knows who he is, but yeah, he's one of the family. It's Woody Johnson.
You could have used talcum powder. You could have used soap. You went with earbuds. What's the matter with you?
Because we need earbuds in this house. I'll drive me man. I'm going to tell her. Anyway, so we've got we've got 3 and a bit billionaires that own us. For me, I know we're not just going to go, we'll kiss £1 billion because that'd be like Newcastle. We'd be the PSR. I just don't understand how we can't get 30 million, 40 million, I don't know. I just don't know. You know that we need to be selling. I understand that we need to sell players, and I understand that other players want to move on to forward their career, and you know, and I'm very happy for Ebbs doing what he's done. But you know, we used to have players coming in. Now, Glasner asked for new players when he was in Austria a month ago. They've had enough time. This is the, of all the. I saw someone go for it in the comments earlier, and they said, "Well, we all knew Ebbs was leaving." No, we never. No, we all thought Mark was leaving because we thought that what Parish would be able to do was persuade Ebbs, like he did Michael Elise, where Chelsea was supposed to be coming in, and then he stayed. Unbelievably, we got a picture of him down on his boat in the south of France, and he signed a little bit of a new deal, and then everyone was happy because Elise stayed to the end of the season, and that was you know, everything was good. I thought to myself that that's what Ebbs would have done, but obviously, you know, we have to pay bills and stuff, and money has to come through the, you know, the tills. But I just look at some of the David Campion said only Palace could have 3 billionaire owners and still be piss poor. I mean, I can't understand how we've not forced Mark out, how we've literally not forced him out. I know we can't. All these people going, oh, it's great, and Sky are going, yeah, it's really great that he's staying and everything else. And Glasner is saying, yeah, it's great he's staying. But if I can just rant this, right? I've said this many times. I'm a very simple person. You have to explain things in layman's terms to me, right? I know you'll agree with that. Last Thursday, I messaged you guys and I said there are 45 weeks to the 30th of June. We could have we all turned down 65 million quid off Newcastle, did we not? Or was that just pie in the sky? Was that rubbish? No, we turned down. Everyone was upset about it. Well, they were, not us, right? Now he's not worth. Let's say he's worth 45 million. Because the contract is getting smaller and smaller. So if he doesn't leave before this window shuts, he gets to leave on a free. In effect, we make Mark Gay the best paid player ever, I think, in almost one of the best paid players, up there with Cristiano Ronaldo, in the history of football per game. Because we could have got 45 million quid for him, plus whatever he's on. Let's just say he's on 100 grand a week. Another 45 weeks, another 5 million quid. That's 50 million pounds for a season. When he walks for free, we lose 50 million pounds. 50 million with Palace. I mean, I can't get my head around how Parish has just gone, look, we'll give you. I mean, haven't we got to give Chelsea a chunk of that as well? So I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I can't get why we're just going, look, you've got to go. You have got to go. And if Ebbs wants to go, then he's got to go. I get it. But I just can't. I literally can't. I can't get my head around it.
Paul, what is the right business move? Do we let him go on a free at the end of the season? Or do we, as
no,
Paris,
he has to go. He has to go this summer because we can't let him go for free. So I reckon he'll play on Thursday, and then that'll be it. They'll keep him for the Europe game, and then he needs to go. As I said in the pre-season show, I thought Ebbs was going. I thought Mark was going. If I thought that, then the club should have been prepared for that. I think it's pretty negligent, to be honest, that we don't have their replacements in already. That's without all the extra players that we should have had that Glasner wanted. Now, I try and temper it a little bit. I mean, I see Steve Parish is already making some excuses because he said after Thursday that obviously the financial rules in Europe are even tighter. So that was a good thing to say. Try and set the scene for that one. But my only thing at the moment is, like I say, we normally do things like, I remember last year we were all we were all disappointed because we lost obviously Michael Elise, we lost Joachim Anderson, but we ended up bringing in Saul, we ended up bringing in Lacroix late in the window. So we do things late, and I'm just telling myself we lost those two last year, we managed to get through it, and I'm hoping the two we will replace this year, but we're leaving it obviously very late. Great for the manager, he wanted them in early. But yeah, I'm sort of in hope mode as it is at the moment, but we need two extra players because we're in an extra competition, and we need to replace those two as well. So we need 4 players in by next week. Okay,
and Ian just said in the chat that the alternative is for Mark to sign an extension to his contract. Okay, he showed no signs of being willing to do so, Mark. Ian, I take your point. That is an alternative, but it's an alternative we haven't seen played out. I mean, Mark, from what I understand, Mark is quite happy to let his let his contract run down. Go on, Paul.
He is.
There is a contract on the table. Steve Parish has said if he wants to stay, sign a contract and he can stay. But as I said, we can't let him go. As I said the other day, if we let him go for free, but the quotes we were sort of getting for Diamondo from Lisbon to replace him were 40 million. So you can't next season let him go for naught and then find out we've got to pay 40 million for a replacement.
Right. Yes, I'm coming to you now. I'm going to throw a hypothetical at you, okay? And I expect to get battered in the chat. Fill your boots, everybody. We are now going to wind the clock forward 7 days, okay? Next Monday night, okay? We're doing a show at 8 o'clock. Please join us, ladies and gentlemen. And we've had a lone player. Let's just say one lone player come in and nothing else. At what point does Glasner walk? Because we know he's got history. We know he's got previous on it. Well, at what point does Glasner go?
Well, if that's not...
And would you blame him?
No, I wouldn't blame him because personally, he's the best manager we've ever had. He's brought us success we've never had before. And the ultimate thing would have been to build on that success. And we seem to be just going backwards at the moment. He made it clear that he wanted the signings in earlier because he wanted to have the pre-season with them, get prepared properly because that's what he's like. And yet again, they've just ignored him because they were too busy sorting out another mess that was partly their own making as well. So I think we could lose him, definitely. If we don't bring in enough players, then I think he will go. And we can't really blame Glasner for that. So who do we blame then? We blame the board that haven't backed him up and done what he's asked. I mean, I'm not sure why Steve Parish is saying he wants this person and Glasner is saying, surely Glasner's the person who knows what people we need. He's the expert. They should be.
I make you absolutely right. I make you a bang on, spot on. I mean, people got to realise is Glasner's stock in the football industry is massively high because of what he did on limited players last year. We didn't have a full squad last year. He asked for players to come in early. It didn't happen. He wanted them ready for pre-season last season. He made it absolutely, Paul, I'm coming to you, mate. He made it absolutely clear, crystal clear, that this year we will have our players in early. We will get our business done on time. Here we go, a week ago, we're having the same conversation. Paul.
Yeah, I don't, to be honest, I don't think he's the kind of person who would walk, but I think the minute there's a job he wants, he will make it happen.
Yeah. And go on, Joe.
Didn't who was the German team that came in? Yeah, they wanted him, and Parish went, well, yeah, you can have him. It's 100 million to get him out of his contract or something silly like that. Was it Bayern or? And
in fairness, he's got history for it as well. He one of his, I think it was Wolfsburg, one of his former clubs. Anyway, they didn't back him. What did he do? He ran down his contract and walked away. It's gonna happen.
Well, I think again we keep using that. His stock is high, and the thing is, sooner or later, one of the big sides in the Premier League, I reckon, Amorim goes in 4 games. If they haven't won 2 out of the next 4 games, I think Amorim goes. And Theresa Baker said, Man City won't Guardiola goes. Yeah, I mean, it could be, and you know what Daniel Levy's like. It don't really matter what Spurs do; he'll just fire you. I think he's so highly thought of. I think that we eventually, I think at the end of the season, I think we're going to struggle no matter what happens anyway. If he stays, I think he'll, I don't. What he was unhappy about last year, right, was that the reason he said we started badly is because we had the players at the Olympics, the World Cup, we had injuries, and then we brought in 4 players or whatever it was on the final day. And he said he did no pre-season. It was just a complete mishmash, and it took 4, 5, 6 games for the players to get fit. So we were, and this is what he thinks. I don't think he wants that to happen again, to play out like he did. I mean, when saying that, it is going to happen no matter what. This is completely what's going to happen, because if he gets 2, 3 players this week, Mark has to go, so it's going to be 2, 3, 4 players that we need, or he signs a new contract. But we need at least 2 or 3 players. But if only if we do carry on in the cup, in the pub league, Europe pub league. I mean, I just think that's going to kill us. I think it'll kill us, and I think Glasner will have to dip into the 21s. It's going to have to anyway. I think.
Look, I'm conscious of the time. It's 9 o'clock already, and we're ending on a negative. I don't want to end it on a negative. We've had a great start to the season. 4 games unbeaten. I think we're unbeaten since February. Is that right, Paul?
April 16th.
April the 16th. Thank you, mate.
Lost 10 games. Liverpool twice. City. Chelsea.
Look who we played.
On the pitch, we're unbeaten in 12 games, which is the best since 1990. So at least that's the positive.
There's your positive.
But then he's still our manager, and up until 4 days ago, Ebbs was still part of our side. You know, again, Nick, before you do it, because I don't want to do this after, we are going to say something about Ebbs, aren't we? Before we
do it now. Go right now.
Okay. I'm going to turn around and say that I think he should be up there with Wilf as GOAT status for us. And I don't get soppy over players. You know what I'm like? You don't want to play or you want to go, you just go, get out, do whatever. But that, for me, I can't lie. I literally had to wipe my eyes for tears. That was the single best thing I've ever seen from any player ever. Any Palace player ever, and maybe any player ever. That you know that he is a nice guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, listening back on the podcast, Gel's alluded to what's on screen. On screen is the goodbye statement from Ebbs. Carry on, Gel.
I mean, and he said, but what I will say is God did something for us that will connect us for generations. You know, and he will, and he literally will. His name, along with Wilf, will never be forgotten by this generation, the next generation, and maybe the one under, because, you know, it was Ebbs's FA Cup. He started it with the first goal at Selhurst, and he finished it with the last goal, you know, at Wembley. Had it not been for his goals, you know, the first goal against Fulham, and it's just been fantastic for us, and for him to make the step up, because I said for ages, had he gone to Spurs, I think it would have been a step sideways. Don't give a shit what anyone says. It would have been a step sideways. I think they're on a club coming down, and you know, but I think that they have a chance now. I think Arsenal have a chance of I think he was the little piece of the jigsaw. He will give them something that they haven't had for a long time, and what we will absolutely miss for a year or two until someone comes through and takes up that mantle.
As long as we don't get Trossard in return, eh? Listen, I'm going to have to wrap it up. Okay, Gel, well said, mate, and you're right to highlight it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gone 9 o'clock. I'm keeping you on your bank holiday and Monday evening. Thank you for joining us. We will be back again next Monday. I'll be in the hot seat once more. So, Gel, Yaz, Paul, thank you as always. So everybody in the chat who's contributed this evening, we can't do this show without you. We need you there. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. It's very important to us. We need to increase those numbers to make our existence happen. If you want the Red and Blue to review continue next season, we need to increase those numbers on YouTube. So please get on there and give it a like, give it a subscribe, hit that bell so every time we come live, you get a notification on it. On behalf of myself and this wonderful panel and the team behind us, Nigel Cratchit especially, thank you everybody. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Right.
Up the Palace.